Taking flight. It is a fact universally acknowledged that the progress of women has been constantly slowed down by the social prejudices and discrimination. History shows us instances of several women who successfully overcame their hindrances and took to the skies with pride. The story of Elise Raymond Delorge from France is one such inspiring tale. The first recorded woman pilot in the world, she got her license in 1910, just 7 years after the first flight ever taken by the Wright brothers. Indian woman entered flying scene soon after. As early as 1936, the Indian skies witnessed its first female pilot, Sarla Thukral, flying the Gypsy Moth solo. Just about 15 years later, Usha Sundaram entered the aviation sector and became the first woman pilot in independent India. At present, Indian women pilots account for 15% of the aviation industry. On the surface, this number seems to be drastically low. However, compared to the global average of 5%, India is far ahead of all other nations. Indian women have had to battle against existing social stereotypes to climb up the ladder of success. From Gunjan Saxena to Swati Rawal, our country has been blessed with a legacy of brilliant aviatrices. But who are these women? Let's find out. Gunjan Saxena was born in 1975. She was among the 6 women who joined the Indian Air Force IAF in 1996. She played a crucial role during Kargil War as a flying officer. Saxena helped in evacuating around 900 wounded and killed soldiers in the war. Flight Lieutenant Sri Vidyarajan also served the nation along with her. Gunjan Saxena went to become the first recipient of the Shaurya Chakra. Modern days heroes include women like Swati Rawal, who is the first female civilian pilot to have led a rescue mission during the pandemic. She was a part of Vande Bharat mission, flying the Air India Boeing 737 from Delhi to Rome on March 22, 2020. She helped in evacuating of 263 Indians trapped in the first wave of COVID-19. Yet another modern-day hero is Mahasweta Chakrabarti. She rose to prominence in recent times for flying 800 Indian students who were stuck in the Ukraine after the Russian invasion in March 2022. The achievements of Indian women in the commercial sector have also been significant. A name that immediately comes to mind is that of Annie Divya. She got her wings and started her flight at the tender age of 19. Reflecting on the challenges faced by her, Annie observed though women faced a lot of challenges in the aviation industry, it's the same story for female professionals such as doctors, engineers and those who need to travel a lot for their jobs. 2021 was a very significant year for women in the aviation industry. A new milestone was set in the history of the industry with the inauguration of an all-woman flight from San Francisco to Bengaluru on 10th January 2021. The crew consisting of Captain Zoya Agarwal, who was joined by Captain Papagiri Tanmay, Captain Akansha Sonawari and Captain Shivani Manhas, flew a distance of about 15,200 kilometers for approximately 17 hours. It was indeed a proud moment for all women across the globe. We must remember that Indian women have not only conquered the skies, but also ventured into space. Kalpana Chawla, for instance, was a woman of Indian-American origin. Her passion eventually helped her to go to space and create history. She was followed by Sunita Williams and Sirisha Bandla, who traveled to space in 2007 and 2021 respectively. It is important for us to remember and celebrate all these achievements every time these wonderful women reach new heights. They pave new ways for young girls to dream big. The Listeners by Walter de la Mare. "Is there anybody there?" said the traveller, knocking on the moonlit door, and his horse in the silence champed the grasses of the forest's ferny floor. And a bird flew up out of the turret above the traveller's head, and he smote up upon the door again the second time. "Is there anybody there?" he said. But no one descended to the traveller. No head from the leaf-fringed sill leaned over and looked into his grey eyes, where he looked perplexed and still. But only a host of phantom listeners that dwelt in the lone house then stood listening in the quiet of the moonlight to that voice from the world of men, stood throwing the faint moonbeams on the dark stair that goes down to the empty hall, hearkening in an air stirred and shaken by the lonely traveller's call. And he felt in his heart their strangeness, their stillness answering his cry, while his horse moved cropping the dark turf neath the starred and leafy sky. For suddenly he smote on the door even louder and lifted his head. "Tell them I came," and no one answered. "That I kept my word," he said. Never the least stir made the listeners, through every word he spake, fell echoing through the shadowness of the still house, from one man left awake. Aye, they heard his foot upon the stirrup, and the sound of iron on stone, and how the silence surged softly backward when the plunging hooves were gone.